So the other day I put all the drain plugs back in both of the engines, but I did not put the hoses back on. So you can see there are a number of hoses that we take off to winterize the boat. But while you have the hoses off, before you reconnect, especially the hose down there to the thermostat housing, the impeller on a Volvo Penta is right up front under there. So this is the time to check it and replace it since it's already out. Let's see if I can take this off with one hand. Here it goes. Little gasket. That actually looks pretty good. Let me yank that out. That guy got ripped. I'm glad I checked. Oh yeah. Yeah, the port side. All right, let's grab the starboard side. Okay, this is the starboard side one. So all the little fins are intact, but I'll definitely order an extra one. Make sure I have one on board. But again, I'm not gonna put the hoses back until I replace that. For those of you that have Mer Cruisers, I know your impellers are impossible to get to. So it's great for us with Volvos, but we don't have that much else we can boast about. At least I don't think so. Parts and such. Okay, so we'll order an impeller, 2 impellers. All right, so this is the impellers I got from Amazon. All right, it's the old one. Perfect. All right, let me try to review. One more coat of bottom paint, black bottom paint that we have to do. Washing and waxing below the water line, although if I have help on Saturday, maybe we'll do as much as we can. I need to put the impellers, replace the impeller, the one impeller, put both of them back in, hook up all the hoses to the engine. I need to put the anodes back on, the new anodes on the out drives after they dry, so the Saturday I can put them on. That might be it. So that's the countdown until we're ready. And then after it goes in the water, I have a bunch of oil changes to do. And I gotta put the props back on. That's an important thing before it goes back in the water. I can't tell you how disappointing it is to have this boat next to me. This standing water is producing tons and tons of bugs, and it is literally right next to us. We are 2 days away from splashing. Tomorrow, Friday, they're gonna put the boat in the sling so that Saturday, first thing in the morning, we can go in the water. Hooray. Final things to do before the boat goes in the water. First of all, it'd be important to hook up the hoses to both engines. So that's my main goal this afternoon, is to make sure we hook those up. If I have time and I can figure out how to hook up a hose, I will start the engines. But I didn't do that last year and it was okay. I'd love to. I didn't bring my hose and I'm kind of far away from water, so I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna do there. However, I'm starting down in the cabin because I had forgotten that we have a bilge pump that's aft. It's in the engine room, which I normally deal with, but there's one forward as well. And I remember when I came on the boat like a couple weeks ago, I stepped on the swim platform and my big body, I guess, pushed the water, more water down, and the bilge pump, the forward bilge pump, activated and started pumping a ton of water out the side. And so I can manually do that now to see if more water comes out because we've had rain, but I want to know where that bilge pump is. There is water down there right now that's sitting there, but the bilge pump isn't right here. It must be a little bit further aft. And of course we have our bed our big mattress that we made, that we cut out, that's so comfortable and wonderful. And so I'm wondering if I forgot if that bilge pump is underneath one of these cushions. So I'm gonna take this out and we'll take a peek together. This is harder than I remember it to be. All right, come on. Oh. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Haha. Solved it. So this is where the pump is. You can see there's water in there and it didn't go on. I think it wasn't high enough, or the switch is stuck, or it's frozen. So let me see if I can see if it's frozen or not. No, it's not frozen. But it did not go off by itself. I'm gonna go manually turn that on and you guys can watch that, see if that goes off. Okay, so I'm gonna flip this bilge pump forward on, but then I'm gonna run outside to see if water comes flowing out there. All right, here we go. Here you go. So it seems like the float switch is not working, because I turned it on and it pumped a significant amount of water on. I don't like the fact that there's a level to the water, but I guess you can't help that because it's not pumping any more out. It's not pumping any more out when I turn it on now, which means I guess it's as low as it's gonna be. But I'm not super motivated to put the mattress back on until we dealt with that. So I might have to just leave it the way it is. Although I will say this, when I went to the back of the boat, it did come on like a couple weeks ago. I didn't turn it on, so it got triggered somehow. So my son-in-law Jay helped put our impellers back on, which is right up here up front. So this guy right here is gonna go from here and wrap around down there. Here's a hose right here. That, I believe, goes to the fuel pump, and I think that's it. That's the only thing that's left. Put this guy on here. All right. I got that one pretty much all the way on. And of course, I should be wearing gloves because I'm starting to bleed a little bit. Again, that goes to the fuel pump. And now we need to put this boy on, which in theory ought to be easier than the other one. Perfect. Yeah, you gotta do that bottom one first. So as I'm getting ready to put this hose back on, I have some concerns that I might have to replace it. Probably be fine just going in the water, but you can see this here. It's kind of getting worn away a little bit. And you hear this? I hear some crackling. And super rusty in there, but so I want to go online real quick and see how much this is, how fast I can get it. I don't know if anybody has it in stock near me. And of course the Volvo Penta number is worn off. Nice. So the problem is, do you see this clamp right here on that hose? that is digging in right there into this hose. So I just need to move that clamp. So I have all the hoses on and tightened. The bracket is back in place above the thermostat housing where the impeller is. So I decided this year I was going to hook up a hose and test the engines before we put in the water. And it's a good thing I did, because we have a leak in one of the hoses in the port side engine all the way in the back. So hopefully I can get to that before tomorrow morning. It's getting dark and I got to tighten it and see what it is. I'll show you that in a second. There's a hose over here. The crack is in this right here. Okay, so it's in the back of this, which is like a tube. It's not a hose. Hey, this is Jeff with Eternity Shore. Mary's right there. Today was supposed to be, you hear that noise? They're putting a boat in the water. That was supposed to be us. But no, came here the other day. Thought this year I'd hook up a hose to the engines and run them before we got put in. Put a hose to the port side engine, and boom, water was going everywhere. We have a problem that we need to address now. I'll get back to you in just a second. Putting in a sailboat. Should have been us. But it is really cold today. So figured out it was the power steering cooler that was leaking on the port side. And thankfully, as I called Joe, mechanic, who's fantastic. And Joe explained to me that port side engine's actually not providing the power steering. It's just the starboard is. So they kind of tie it off. They loop the whole thing around. I have to get the power steering cooler off. I don't know why they use these kind of clamps. That is a major pain. That kind of clamp. April 12th, and Eternity Shore was supposed to go in the water today, but we had a problem. Yesterday, found a leak in this. Do you know what this is? Because I didn't know what this was until it started leaking. This is the power steering cooler, which I don't need on the port side. So today, right now, Saturday, we're having to not replace this, but take it out and then connect those two hoses to each other. I replaced this with this. We'll put the hoses on like this. But what about these? These go to where the power steering fluid is, and apparently we can just connect those two hoses. I'm gonna try to do that with this. Go ahead and focus on this. See if you can get close and then focus right on it. Look for an upcoming video that shows how I actually got this done and if I got it done, because I'm not sure we're gonna be able to get it done, and I'm not sure there won't be any leaks, but that's an update. This is what I'm trying to accomplish, is attaching that hose to the stainless steel bar that I bought to mimic the length of the power steering cooler. You might be able to see it down here. I did attach it at the bottom, but I have to attach it at the top. The problem is the angle of this pipe, as you can see, and this hose are not exactly lined up. So I'm going to try to heat this up again and put it on. And the other thing I'll need to do is this big mess in here. All this stuff really just forms a circle all the way back to the power steering reservoir.